Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday live lessons here on Ukulele Underground. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, joined by Mr. Aaron the Voice Nakamura. What's up, Aaron?
What's up?
And by Kahai the Legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
It is totally Thursday the 25th today, and we are doing a Thursday live lesson. We're totally live. It's Thursday, 1 p.m., the 25th. Where's the newspaper? Let's hold up the newspaper. Let's hold the newspaper right now. Yeah, we are time traveling. We are currently in California at this moment. This moment right now, we're in California, and we're just we're doing stuff. So at the office, our original selves are going out and doing stuff right now. We are the body double.
Selves.
Yeah, we cloned ourselves so that we could still do Thursday live lesson, right, Kahai?
Yep.
See, I like clone Kahai better, Aaron. Clone Aldrine likes clone Kahai a lot better than regular Kahai.
Clone Kahai thinks that's insulting.
Kahai's like, I didn't go to California at all. I'm like, I'm not a clone.
I'm not a clone.
It's like you're forgetting I didn't go with you on that trip. I'm still here at the office. But yeah, we are traveling. So what's up to all you people who are gracious enough to buy a ticket over to Uktoberfest? We will be at Uktoberfest this I believe it's Saturday, right? Is it Friday? Saturday. This Saturday at the Kabuki over in San Francisco. So Kabuki Hotel. Uktoberfest is going to be us. It's going to be Ukulele, it's going to be Cynthia Lynn, it's going to be Steven Espanola, it's going to be Craig and Sarah. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. So let's get started here. What we do here on Thursday Live Lessons is we answer any and all of your questions that come into us via email, via live chat, anything like that, because we are Thursday Live Lesson. We do have a live chat going on, but maybe not right now. In the future, maybe
not on the 25th.
Not on the 25th. Yeah, we have disabled
today.
it for today. But we're live as we're doing it, I guess, right? So this is still live-ish.
Usually.
We are alive.
Yeah. So, let's get started, Kai. Give me a question. What we're going to do, Kai, is going to give me a question. We're going to contemplate about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to answer it as best as we can. The three of us collectively will give you the best answer possible. So hit me up, Kai.
So Mark said, I've heard Aldrine talk about Bandito Tyler, and I've been really curious. What is the complete story of the CD? Ooh. Is it at all inspired by Threat Level Midnight by Michael Scott from The Office?
That is awesome. That is awesome. Threat Level Midnight. Michael Scarn is it?
Yeah,
Michael Scarn.
That's
right. Okay. So that is a loaded question because it's actually inspired by Robin Hood. And it's inspired by Zorro, mostly Zorro actually. Zorro.
Have you ever told like the complete story?
I don't think so.
Just parts, bits and pieces.
Passing. Whenever people ask me like, "Oh, that one's about this," but never have I told. So I guess this is a good question to do on this particular episode where there's so much live questions going on. The chat is going crazy. You guys see that? It's going crazy. The chat is insane. Right? There's 1,000 people online right now on the live chat. So it's insane. On the day that we're not at the office. Huh? I mean, sorry everyone. But okay, so Bandito Tyler. To take it back from the beginning, Bandito Tyler, we all know the original story of like my friend Tyler. He he's just notorious for eating our food, and that's why like we call him Bandito Tyler, because like if you leave food there, he will eat it. Regardless if you put your name on it, whatever. If it's there, it's free game for Tyler. So that's
this was like when you were in college.
When I was in college, just when I was in college. So
this is the origin of the name Bandito.
Of the name Bandito Tyler. So there is an actual Tyler. Tyler Ramel is that's the actual Tyler. Tyler is his name. And one day we play a lot of tennis back then. So one day we're gonna play tennis, and my friend Bradford Barris, he's a UH art student at the time. He came out with just like a plain white shirt, and I guess he made it out of stencil. He made a stencil and just painted his plain white shirt. And he came to tennis wearing a Bandito Tyler shirt. I was like the first ever Bandito Tyler anything, really. So he came out with the shirt. I'm like, oh my God, where did you get that shirt? He's like, well, I had to do stencils for my art class. So I made Bandito Tyler for my art class. So I was like, I need 5 shirts stat like tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna get you some white shirts. Can you make some? He's like, oh well, if you just wait a couple more days, a bunch of stickers that I made are coming in. So like we got some stickers, and ever since then, like Bandito Tyler kind of became a thing. That's how we would tag. We would I guess I could be saying this because it's been over 10 years since I was at at UH, but we were tagging UH every like,
statute of limitation.
Yeah, exactly. So we would have these stickers, these like Bandito Tyler stickers and stuff. We would just like kind of stick them like everywhere and stuff. And Tyler didn't have any, but we did. So it would irritate him to kind of see his face because it was like. It was definitely his face. Oh. I don't know if you guys ever saw the original Bandito Tyler sticker, but it's definitely his face. And we posted it, and he got so like irritated. The more irritated he got, the more stickers we printed out.
You wanted to get more.
Exactly. Like it got closer and closer. We took the his classes and stuff. Like we knew which classes he were gonna be at, and we posted it like along his his path to like his classes. And then it got so bad. Like whenever he was gone, we would we'd post not post, but we would like stick it like on his shampoo, like on his body wash and stuff. So he would look at it like Head and Shoulders, like, oh, Bandito Tyler shampoo. He's like, dang it, stop with the stickers, like everyone. And so it was good times. But as far as the Bandito Tyler CD goes, I had very good advice from from Jake Shimabukuro before, and it's like when you're creating music, create melody that kind of that it invokes either feelings, emotions, or some kind of event, and when back then I was kind of weird, and when it came to ukulele, I was very eccentric, and one of the things that I was watching was Steve Vai's Alien Love Secrets. So Steve Vai, Alien Love Secrets, he talked about, it's like a video where he just kind of, talking about his writing process and stuff. And he's talking about how he would imagine like something that would happen. So for example, like going out to the store and stuff. So he's like, okay, something as simple as going out to the store, but you as a storyteller will kind of tell it as detailed as you can. So like, okay, going out to the store, grabbing my keys, going in my car, starting my car. If the car starts, if the car doesn't start, moving out of the driveway, the people that I see, and then go to the store, pick up the thing that I need, and then go out. Now, why am I saying this? If you ever watch any movie at all, like any of these are scenes in a movie basically, and the movie will have a score like to kind of show you, via audio, and it will enhance your your experience as you watch this movie and you hear the audio. It's all like part of that experience, right? So same thing, but with with my musical writing or the way that I compose. I want to create the same exact thing, but the movie exists in your head and stuff. This is kind of like what you see in your head, I'm not putting any like visual out there, but I am providing the audio to this made up movie. So Bandito Tyler, because it was inspired by Tyler Ramel and his just keeps taking our food and stuff. We're like, okay, why don't I okay, so this is why I was telling that story. So that same night that Bradford came out with that T-shirt, I was like, okay, all you need is a theme song, like a superhero theme song and stuff. So that night, I was so inspired that I actually wrote Bandito Tyler in like all of maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So it's like it was just
the first
Bandito the first Tyler. Bandito Tyler, like the Bandito Tyler. So that
song, just the song, yeah.
Yeah, I basically had everything except for that fast part in the middle and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the fast part in the middle, I was just doing. It was just G minor F, G minor F, G minor F. Mm-hmm. But then, fun fact. So I showed that to Jake and stuff. He's like, oh, you can do like lots of cool stuff like during that part. He's like, oh, why don't you why don't you do a chord substitution, with that? So instead of the regular G minor F, G minor, he said play the G minor here, but then add that F, so it's like a minor 7, so it's kind of like this, and then he's like, so instead of going to the F, so to do that, it's like do a kind of like a C7. So what you're doing is you're kind of suspending this note. So that's actually courtesy of Jake Shimabukuro. So he kind of showed me. He's like, okay, you want to do kind of like a big build up, you know, like to something. So he's like, instead of just going F to G minor, he's like, how do you get from F to G? I'm like, well, just go F to G. You know, he's like, well, there's F and then there's F sharp and then there's G. I was like, okay, well that makes sense. So he's like, why don't you add that, you know, that in there? He's like, okay. So he goes, you can do this. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then he's like, so when you go up here, you can do the same thing. So he's kind of, you know, he's kind of doing that, kind of showing me. He's like, okay, then you add the C7, and you can go even higher. And then we go from the E flat to the D, you know. But he's like, cause he's, you know, he's notorious for the big, like the big finish for like Wow My Guitar Gently Weeps. He was kind of on that high of like, we need this big grand like part in the middle.
So that's, he took what you already had and then used this kind of those same the same chords or like similar related chords to build it up.
Right. So you know when we were playing tennis, like I was just getting ideas. I was getting ideas left and right. I was like, okay, like, you know, we're all video game lovers here. I need some kind of jump sound and stuff. So that's where like the chorus came from.
Like a jumping.
Like I need Bandito Tyler to be like a video game character that I see in my head. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Jake has always told me like, you know, to create some kind of like movie in your mind using music and stuff. And that was around the time that he released Dragon. So when he released Dragon, he told me about how Dragon, he's like, when he's doing the tapping with that, he said he wants the audience to kind of visualize like a literal dragon, like, you know, like swinging its tail, you know, like
kind of whipping it.
So you can see it. I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. Like, I want to do something just like that where like the audience will hear it and they'll instantly get like a visual in their head. So like that inspired me. It's like, okay, cool. So, you know, that whole jump thing, I'm like, okay, awesome. I can see crates. I can see like, you know, like things that he's like, you know, some obstacles that he's trying to jump over. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So it's got to be kind of like a chase scene. So I was thinking, okay, if it's a chase scene, you know, we need some kind of heroic, you know, because that's the first thing that I got. Those two notes. I mean, honestly, I was coming out from that. I was like, okay, cool. How do we make that into, you know, like into a thing? Like, why don't we repeat it? I was like, okay, I need something in between. Repeat. Okay, I was like, okay, cool. It's not just one jump, you know, it's like few jumps. Okay, so when I came home, I was like, okay, so it's going to be in G minor because based on that, you know, based on the jump, that's going to be like a G minor chord. So it's like, okay, well, you know, what chords do I have in G minor? You know, I have D set, you know, D7, or maybe C minor. I can do that. I was like, not really. So I wanted to take his advice of like, okay, well, imagine if you started your car and it didn't start. Okay, it's like, so you were trying to go to the store, you know, going back to the store thing. Trying to go to the store, your car doesn't start. Of course the music's gonna change because like you're now angry. Your emotion has changed. You're like, I was gonna go to the store and my car won't start. But it's like, what if things went his way? Because everything was G minor, right? So everything's kind of already in a minor. What if we're like, you know, I wanted it so that he did get away, so that he did manage to jump over these obstacles and stuff. So I'm like, we need to create, you know, like a positive kind of a positive sound to it. So that's when I went to the major. So I have a so without even having that melody line, I just had you know, without even having that melody line, I'm like, I need to go major somehow. So I went to the like a B flat major because that would be the, you know, the major relative to G minor. I was like, I need to go there somehow, and then I just kind of forced it, and then I'm like, okay, great. So that means, you know, there's this part where like things kind of go his way, and then you know, like it needs to sound more heroic somehow. So we need to go back to that minor because the minor sounds heroic. But basically, so, you know, long story short, Bandito Tyler, that original one is about Tyler, like basically doing what he does best, steals from the rich and gives to the poor. And it turned out that way because I was thinking of Zorro, was thinking of Robin Hood.
So this is like
the character.
Yeah,
type.
the character.
Yeah, like if we're talking about if we're talking
character.
yeah, and then the CD is like a whole story, right?
Yes,
in and of itself.
This is just Bandito Tyler.
And then for this song, this is like the intro to the movie.
This is what kind of kicked everything off. So this is the intro to to the movie. That's the first thing that you hear. It's excuse me. So credits, right? So here's the movie credits. So Bandito Tyler will roll, and then he just pulled off his his big, not big heist, but like small heist. So he did like a small heist. So then he's like, oh, Bandito Tyler this. And the second thing that you hear is Senor Victor.
It's like the Batman movie, right? Like the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like there's a heist.
Yeah.
Like you get introduced to Joker, right? At the very end. So.
Excuse me, but this one, you're introduced to our hero. Our hero's kind of doing the thing that he does best. Steals from the rich and gives to the poor and stuff. So he gets introduced. I guess there's some authority figures trying to chase after him. That's why the jumps and stuff. And then afterwards, Senor Victor comes on, and Senor Victor.
Oh, we're good.
Excuse me, sorry.
I think we have some CDs that we could give away on this show.
Away. So this is the Bandito Tyler CD, which actually I'm sold out of the physical copy, so this is kind of rare.
Yeah. But we have maybe a few.
Yeah. So maybe we'll give one away at the end of this in this show. So Bandito Tyler, Senor Victor does come right after. So Senor Victor, hears about it. So Senor Victor is the anti-hero basically of this thing where he's lawful good, he's just doing his job. There's a guy been stealing things, so he's doing his job.
So he's not necessarily like the antagonist.
No,
but he's like he is going against.
Yeah, because Bandito Tyler is bad, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
So,
but you're seeing everything from his point of view.
His point of view.
He is the protagonist.
Yeah. So Bandito Tyler gets away. So in Senor Victor, it's that guy got away again. But then so when you hear so I would kind of imagine that's the slow beginning part is his subordinates kind of telling him oh my God, Mr. Victor,
Excuse me, Mr. Victor.
Excuse me. We lost him again. I'm so sorry. We lost him again. And he's like, oh my God, I'll get him myself. So he goes, and that's why in the end we got a nice little fight scene of. So that's a fight scene between Senor Victor and Bandito Tyler, whereas Bandito Tyler, wins that one, right? Okay, so. And he gets away from Senor Victor himself. So Senor Victor's oh my God. So then you learn that there's he has a boss. It's boss is not going to be happy about this. So that's just the second track. So the third track, Senorita Roja, we go scene changes into the leading lady of this of this movie. So Senorita Roja, she's I'm imagining a somewhere out there kind of scene where she's she's just thinking about Tyler and all this.
Looking.
I wish she wouldn't be so dangerous. I wish she wasn't such a bad boy. I don't know. So she's she's doing that, and it's kind of maybe it'll take us to kind of a character development where it kind of shows Bandito Tyler and Roja doing things, and kind of walking, or maybe when they're younger or something I was picturing some kind of character development during that song. And of course the heist. So Bandito Tyler's okay, I just need to do one more big job. This big job is going to be big. It's going to feed all these families, so on and so forth. So that's the heist. And in the heist, you hear things I wanted high hits, so to kind of show there's not risks, but there is there's something on the line, like something on the line kind of thing. Like, so I wanted to show that like he's, he has something on the line. So I wanted to have that high, like, that high note, bop, bop, ba da, bop, bop, ba da. And when we're doing the heist, there's like all of these, like, and that kind of high hits is followed by, a little bit more drums as we get through the song. And that's kind of like him like looking, looking at the different directions and stuff, like, oh, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? So he's kind of in a panic because something happens during the heist. He gets the heist done, but he gets caught again, so he's he's trying to kind of run away. So we got the that's him trying to figure out his options and how to get away. It's like, oh my god, I can go through here, go through out that window, I can go do this, I can do that. It's like just kind of a not confusion, but it's like a panic, like a panic.
It sounds like it's like he's getting more desperate as time goes on. Like he's like, or is it like he has so many options and he's starting to run out of options. He's getting backed into a corner.
Exactly. He's getting back into a corner. Exactly that. So, escape on Sugar. Sugar is his horse. And that so he finishes the heist. He gets finds a way out and he escapes on Sugar. So Sugar is is inspired by the Cowboys. So John Williams, the Cowboys, is what I was listening to when I composed Escape on Sugar. So he goes, and it's like kind of galloping. Like I kind of wanted to get a sense of gallop in the on that tune. And fun fact, Sugar is the name of the rowdy horse from Doug.
Oh,
yeah. So I wanted
the
to
cartoon
name,
Doug.
Yeah, the cartoon Nickelodeon Doug, not Disney Doug. So Nickelodeon Doug. There is an episode where like he's pretending like he was all that, like trying to like, oh yeah, I can ride horses all right.
He kind of like he envisions himself as like that Zorro character, suave and
exactly.
He's coming up to Patty Mayonnaise, right? It's like, hey, like check out how good I am on this horse.
Yeah, so it's like I guess like that horse like Sugar Cubes or something. That's why they call them Sugar. So I'm a big Doug fan. So
did you
put that? I need to put a Doug
Doug reference.
So like when
know that.
So when you did like come up with the name of the song, you definitely like that was
that was intentional. That
like,
was
if I gotta give this horse a name, it's but it kind of is like a pun, right? Like escape on sugar, you're hyper or something.
Yeah,
right?
It's like there's a panic. There's a like. So anyway, so Escape on Sugar, and then we finally see. So the next track is El Baesa. Then we finally see the town. We finally see the reason why he does all the things that he does. Why he steals from the rich, the poor that he that he gives it to is this town, his hometown, very 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 poor place and stuff. But he's kind of like a mysterious benefactor who gives it to to the town mayor, Don Miguel. So Don Miguel, we find out, so he comes home to El Baesa to a big fanfare. So El Baesa is kind of a fanfare song, like they're like big, kind of big drums in a way that it's like it's kind of like walking tempo. Like almost like a parade. Like this guy is like their hero, like he's come home from this huge heist. He's like throwing his money, like kind of almost like Prince Ali. I'm thinking, like that. He's coming in. There's all these whatever.
Everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy. Like, oh my god, he's back. He's our savior. But then so afterwards is Dance with the Bandits. So he finally reunites with Senorita Roja. Yep.
Or what is El Baesa supposed to?
El Baesa is that's my hometown. Actually, Baesa was where I grew up in the Philippines. Caloocan City, Baesa was the was the street, was the it was like the area.
Yeah.
So that's like my area.
So you took Baesa and you just put L in
Baesa. So I was like, that's the town. That's the town.
That's like another cool
that's
nod
a cool
to
little Easter egg. So I'm telling you all the Easter eggs in these. So Dance with the Bandit, it's a nice little waltz and stuff. So they're dancing. But then so in Dance with the Bandit, like there is a part where it goes minor. right during that part, they're kind of dancing, they're doing these twirls, and he's kind of noticing that like he's that she he's kind of noticing that like around the room that they're dancing around, he notices some of the things that he's stolen before, that he's mysteriously giving to the mayor, or to the whatever the big wig is called, I'm just gonna call him mayor. So the big mayor
of
the town, Don Miguel is the big mayor of the town. So he's taking the money, supposedly giving it to these people, but he kind of notices all the stuff around her room. Then it's like, and we find out that that's like her dad, like the mayor is Roja's dad, and we find out that. So he starts kind of looking around. It's like, oh my god, he's been keeping like all the things that I've been giving. That's why the people are still poor. And that's why no one's getting any better and stuff. So when they get to the town, when Don Miguel kind of comes home and he's like, oh hey, it's my favorite guy, it's my guy, I like this guy, this guy's awesome, you give me something new. And he's like, oh, about that, I was wondering why this is here, why all these things that I've given. He's like, oh, you see about that, and he like presses a button, and then here comes like more soldiers. And then the last is Don Miguel, because he's the main antagonist of the whole thing.
Like the reveal is
he's the guy, like he's Senor Victor's the big boss, basically. That's his boss. Uh-huh. And then so in Don Miguel, like you kind of you hear this crazy fight scene where it changes like 4 keys or so, like 4 or 5 times, like the it goes it just goes up like maybe I think 3 or 4, 3 or 4 keys.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to show that like, oh, this fight scene is crazy. This is the fight scene. I wanted it to like go from one room, and then when it changes to a different key, it's like to another room, and to another room, and to another room, and then in the end, Bandito Tyler is seen vanquished, and it's to be continued. That is the story.
That's going through that the whole album,
that chapter, right? Or like that act is now it's Act 1 of Bandito Tyler. So there will be, I am planning, and I've actually wrote a couple already, not much. I'm maybe like 15-20% done. Of the next one's gonna be called Bandits. Oh. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to create a CD that has
like a themed
like a themed CD. Also for Kahai, here's a little Easter egg. I told Bradford to put in little Akatsuki clouds in the background from Naruto. Because like the cloak kind of reminded me of like Akatsuki, so he just kind of gave me this. I was like, in the background, can you have like a subtle so Akatsuki reference?
So you kind of had to have Bradford, who was the original designer of those stickers that you guys were to do the CD art.
It was only right. So Bradford did this. It doesn't resemble Tyler anymore, but like the original one did. So if anyone has like an original Bandito Tyler sticker, that's pretty rare.
And actually, Bradford is the person who designed the Ukulele Underground logo. So the one that we still use, the main Ukulele Underground logo, Bradford, that was him that designed it. So
I forgot his. We should promote him. There's I forgot what his website is, because I don't know if he still takes clients and stuff on the web design, not web design, but like graphics design and stuff. If anything, we'll maybe put the thing.
In the links.
The link,
yeah.
Because I think he still takes, but I don't know. So I don't know if maybe his new job prevents him from taking new clients. And He's actually a really good graphic designer. So he designed this. The inside is of course the like a profile of Bandito Tyler himself, and then inside the CD is sugar. So that's Bandito Tyler on sugar. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this is, to me, like my greatest creation. Actually, my greatest creation. Like I thought about every single track. I thought about like every single note, that was on the track.
I think it comes through where it does like if you just listen to the CD, it's like, oh, these are all like cool songs.
Yeah.
And then if you listen to it more intently, like you start hearing all those details, like where it's like, oh man, that like makes total sense, like how that works.
The note choices were definitely intentional. So a lot of note choices that I made are intentional. There's a lot more like but then we would have to kind of like listen to it and I'll like point it out. There's a lot more like Easter eggs and stuff. I don't know if in Bandit you played the song Bridge Street March. You ever played Bridge Street March?
I don't think so.
Did you play Bridge Street March?
No.
That's kind of like a 7th grade song, like 7th grade, 8th grade song. But I remember I didn't bring my clarinets one day and they're like, oh, just play percussion or something. Like, like play bass drum. And I was like, well, I think I can play snare. Like I can play snare. I can look at the thing and it's just, because it's like 7th grade band. It's not like super complicated with like, with paradiddles or anything, right?
Uh-huh.
So there was one and I liked playing it. It's called Bridge Street March. And in Bridge Street March, there is a snare solo. That's why I kind of liked playing that song. It goes... It was like a very like simple solo, and I had it like kind of stuck in my head for like all of 7th grade. Really, I was like, oh, whenever I maybe I won't bring my clarinet for like on purpose. Like, maybe I think we're playing Bridge Street March today, so I wanted to include that, and that is in Sugar. I think right before it goes to the B part, because there's definitely an A part and a B part. There's a snare solo that I told Ariki, who is he played bass and drums for this album. He also produced this album. I told Ariki, and it's weird because like kind of telling a drummer like what to do or a bass player what to do. Because there's like some hits and there's some bass lines that I needed and stuff, and I told him I kind of want you to play this instead. So it's weird, but like being kind of like the captain of the ship, and I gotta like tell him how to do this has allowed me to do that in the future a little bit easier.
I think you have like the story in your head, right?
Yeah.
Like you have the full story in your head. Mm-hmm. And so like if it's like a movie or something,
right,
like there might be like the director of photography who will do the camera things. Mm-hmm. But then like the director will be like the one who will be like, oh, I actually want it to look like this for this story element or for this reason.
Well, so. Because I did that because Senor Victor was actually recorded on the 2nd album, and Bandito Tyler was recorded on the 1st album, and neither of those really like were what I had in mind for those things to sound like and stuff. On on Senor Victor, it was who was the drummer for that? Sean Carroll was a drummer for Senor Victor, and the thing is, I was kind of like, I was scared, kind of, because you don't tell people.
He is a really good drummer.
Sean Carroll's a really good drummer, and like I wanted to tell him that, like right at the end where it goes, dun, dun, dun,
I think
dun, 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 like the battle scene, like it's supposed to be big and grand and stuff. Mm-hmm. I just felt like his drums on the "I'm a Dreamer" album for that particular part was just not the drums not as big as I thought it was gonna be.
I think if you listen to those versions, they're like still good songs.
Yeah.
But if you listen to like this album and these versions, it's like very much more like it sounds very much like a movie theme album or like a movie soundtrack album. Yeah. And the whole thing is very cohesive, right? Mm-hmm. So
you can actually see it too, like another kind of fun fact, the first album, Suite 409, had a version of Bandito Tyler, and it had both. Like the first draft was how I originally intended it to sound like, with like distortion and stuff, because I was thinking big band and stuff. But then there is a version of that, a solo version that has like the Jake elements to it, because it was after I showed Jake and I got that part of like, okay, I told Ariki, I was like, I kind of want to record this as a solo, because there's this part that that I kind of want. So it's like, we're doing 2 versions of Bandito Tyler in the same album. I was like, yes. Is that a problem? He's like, nope, whatever, your thing.
Your call.
Whatever. Yeah. And that's kind of what I like about Ariki anyway. He kind of lets me be, like as creative as I want to be. And I do pride myself in like kind of putting my art out there instead of like, okay, I'm gonna write this kind of song because people like these kinds of songs or whatever. Yeah. Like it's, people like rap or people like reggae, so I want to make a reggae song. So why it's like I feel like my greatest creation is because this was not like conforming to any like ukulele or pop music or anything that I've that I've heard ever in my life. These are kind of things that's straight from my head and art that I wanted to create. So I'm proud of this one.
Yeah.
And Kai, I was like super surprised when because Kai, you were working when this came out, yeah.
Yeah.
And you bought a CD. I was like, oh my god, Kai's gonna buy a CD. Kai's gonna buy a CD. He's like, well, I like concept like albums and stuff. I was like, I guess so. That's cool. I sold it. I guess.
So we were like riding in your car, and you were playing like I think you were playing it either the version that was gonna be mastered, like you're sending it to be mastered, or it just got mastered, and you're kind of going through the album, listening to it in the car. And when you're explaining everything, like even this, like I think it's pretty cool, like hearing like all the ideas. And when you listen to the album, it definitely comes through like, oh, like I can totally picture all the things that's going on. That's why like when we were first talking about it and like Bandito Tyler, I said it's like, oh, it's like, you know, the Dark Knight movie where it's like the heist scene in the very beginning and everything. Yeah.
Because that's what it really is about. Like I just kind of wanted to create that generic Zorro storyline, you know, because that is like the generic story of Zorro, right? Like the whatever, the head of the town is the guy, like the bad guy and stuff, and he's like in that town, but he wants to make the town better, you know. Like I love Zorro. My parents love Zorro, like, and I used to watch like whenever I stayed home from school, like Nickelodeon, whenever they're done with all the kid shows and stuff, like would show Zorro, and I was like so stoked. And during the summertime, I would just like, I knew Zorro would come on at like 10 o'clock because all the kids shows are done, and I would like be glued to the TV, like watching Zorro at 10 a.m. here in Hawaii, and I was really like inspired by that. So when Bradford created this character, I was like, oh my god, yes, please.
I think it resonated with you.
Yeah, it did. I love Zorro. I love Robin Hood. I love those kind of, you know.
Yeah.
I think and that's kind of like the creative process, right?
Yeah.
Like you get inspired, and then suddenly it just like starts rolling, and it's just like, oh man, I don't want to stop making this.
This was, I don't know what year was this. I didn't even put what year this was, but this is basically like almost 10 years in the making, because that was maybe 2000. No, maybe not 10 years. This was, I want to say 2013, maybe 2013 for this one.
When it came out?
Yeah, when this came out. But we made the Bandito Tyler character maybe 2004, 2005. So almost like 10 years later, this album came out. But I did have Bandito Tyler, and I had Senor Victor, and it was just like a matter of time to like hash out the rest. And I don't like, I don't know, whenever I write, so here's another thing about me. Whenever I write, I don't like to show anybody like any unfinished tunes like that. If I got this superstition from Daniel Cummings, like he said that if he shows somebody his unfinished song, it's never gonna be finished. It's not gonna get done. So my wife, like I told her like, okay, you know, just go to sleep. I'm gonna stay up and stuff. Because I put out my best stuff at like 2-3 in the morning. That's kind of like how I write. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go sleep, you weirdo, you know. And then like, I told her I'm gonna go into the studio. He's like, did you write everything? I'm like, yeah. So I like started showing her some stuff. I was like, when did you have time to compose all this stuff? I was like, at like 2-3 in the morning. She's like, I don't even hear anything. I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to hear it. And she was just like. And then I went down through the list, and I told her like, okay, well, this is that part in that song, and she was super stoked to kind of see how it would turn out, and she couldn't believe like all that writing was going on like while she was sleeping.
Can you talk about some of the other like song influences? Because you kind of talked about like the Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot. There's definitely a lot. So in let's see, in El Baesa, there is a part where it goes bum dun 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 dun. I don't know how to play it anymore. Bum bum ba dum. And it goes
it's like a breakdown.
Yeah, it's like a breakdown in El Baesa, and that's basically, I don't want to get this wrong, from a song called Portia by the Rippingtons. So that's like from jazz band. I mean, that's one of those songs. In Bridge Street March, of course, in Escape on Sugar. let's see, Dance with the Bandit. There was something with Dance with the Bandit too, but I forgot what it was. Like
that one's kind of like a waltz, right?
No, not Dance with the Bandit. Don Miguel. Don Miguel has a thing in there too, but I forgot what it was. I can't remember. And of course, like Senor Victor, and the Heist is Mega Man. Like that, especially like especially that part. That's like super Mega Man.
Very Mega Man.
But I was like, that sounds like Panic. Like I like that, like that kind of stuff. It's like a fast heartbeat. Almost, like
it kind of makes you I think feel a certain way.
Well, I think video games and good video game music and good movie theme music, like it can be kind of subtle, and it can just generally like push your feelings towards something where it's like, oh my gosh, something is gonna. They said like if you cut out all the music from movies or like video games, you'll kind of feel like, oh, this is weird. Like imagine a scary movie without music. It's like, oh, this isn't scary at all. Like I don't feel any tension.
Without it's like two notes, right? And it makes so much difference. So that's kind of what inspired like these tracks and stuff. So I've always talked about like making an opus, like we're making like a big like my life's work and stuff. I think this is half of it.
That's
the other half. I don't want to put it out because I'm like, man, this came out pretty good. So my expectations for the second half of the story is really, really, really high. I want a Tibetan chorus because here's a sneak peek. So Bandits. So he like kind of goes in hiding because he feels like a failure, like Bandito Tyler feels like a failure. Like I was right there. He was under, it was under my nose or whatever, like
I got fooled.
Fooled, basically. So he's like he went into hiding, and then Baesa goes into like kind of dark times and stuff. So there's like because there's no money, there's no whatever, there's like poverty going on, there's like stealing. So it's like these kids and stuff that like would just would like. These gang of children would steal and whatever, and then he's kind of walking out and he sees these children, and of course they're like orphans and stuff, and he takes them under his wings and they become the bandits, and then like the bandits with Bandito Tyler like overthrows Don Miguel and the town is that's kind of the story of the second half. It's like he trains these kids because he then realized that he can't do it by himself, but with the town's help, like Baesa will overthrow the bad guy. So it's just kind of togetherness, though. It's a feel-good story at the end. It's definitely not at the end of this.
That's definitely like the Western vibe, right?
Yeah.
Is like where the hero comes out and or if it's Zorro, he's like unmasked. But then the town like still stands next to him and like tells the mayor like, get out of here, like we don't want you anymore.
I'm actually inspired. I know. Have you guys? I mean, you've seen Clerks, right? Have you've seen Clerks?
Kinda, yeah.
So in Clerks, they talk about like how Dante's favorite Star Wars was Empire Strikes Back because it was just a series of down notes and stuff. Like, Luke gets his hand cut off, like Han gets taken away by Boba Fett and whatever. It's like a series of down notes. So I was like, I want this to be like the down note, and then I want like the next one to be the Return of the Jedi, but good, I did think the Empire was the better one. Like Empire was the better one. Like, the Jedi, he had all his powers already. It's like, Luke is like 2 strikes, OP,
So when you wrote Don Miguel, it was definitely like with the attention that they're like when movies kind of end and then it's like, or it's like Avengers will return, right? Like that end screen like comes on.
Yeah,
it's like,
there is a
Bandito Tyler will return at the very end.
Bandits. So Bandits is the next, the next big project for me as far as instrumentals goes, because this is where I get to kind of like really be creative, because I'm not very good at lyrics and stuff or singing for that matter. So like my singing stuff, that's just like all for fun. Like, I mean, it's still art and stuff, it's still my art, but this is definitely, I feel like, me putting my best foot forward as far as art goes. The other ones are fun. They're fun projects. I love working with people and stuff, and I like, like writing songs, but my songwriting isn't as good as my like ukulele
composing
and arranging it.
I'm actually proud of my work. The other one is like I'll just have fun with it, and I'll just get my friends like Randall and Mark to kind of do, and that was a fun project for Acoustic Robot. But this is the kind of stuff that I'm extremely passionate about.
And you they might not be able to get physical copies. Like we'll give away physical copies.
Yeah. So let's do the giveaway. So how do you give this away? Oh, Eric. I'll put you on the spot right now. How do you give this away, buddy?
I don't know. We'll just email us.
Email us over at contests@ukuleleunderground.com, contests@ukuleleunderground.com with the subject heading of gimme. Put subject heading gimme, and then put your username, put your address and stuff inside the email, and winner gets the CD. Oh, by the way, since it's the 24th, did you guys catch The Simpsons this past Sunday?
25th.
25th, sorry. Today's the 25th. Did you guys catch The Simpsons this past Sunday? Damn, yours truly did an ukulele for the intro to The Simpsons with Bob's Burgers.
Hopefully
Wait, when is that? The 14th?
The 14th.
Oh, okay, so
this past Sunday.
Yeah.
No, yeah, last Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was good times. It looked so good. Yeah, I was so surprised with how it looked. I mean, I definitely saw it. Did you see it, Kahai? Did you catch it? Wasn't it great?
Yeah, I can't believe Bart and Lisa and Homer
and Bob
and
all the characters.
And it's a crossover
and the characters from The Simpsons.
It was awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, please check it out. It's my first project with the Bob's Burgers crew and stuff and Fox and whatever. So I was very stoked to be working with them. Thank you, Lauren Bouchard, close personal friend. It was his birthday yesterday, and I was like, hey, low key, happy birthday. But yeah, it was good fun. I hope to do more.
Yeah. I was saying before, so we'll give away a CD, but then if people still want to hear it, they can download it.
Yeah, they can go to, I believe it's on iTunes and Spotify or one or the other.
And it's on Amazon too.
Oh yeah, Amazon? Yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys can check it out. Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. If you want to listen to Bandito Tyler. Sorry, the physical copies are sold out, but this one is available to win if you guys want to win this one. What's cool with physical copies, because you get the artwork by Bradford Barris. It's kind of cool about it. Yep. So, awesome. Little, because there's little Easter eggs on the on the art too.
Yeah, we might have some posters.
Did you notice the Z on the
Oh wow!
Yeah. There's little Easter eggs that we put because I wanted the Zorro.
It's like throw it to Zorro.
It's the little things. I love little things on my albums.
So even though we went over it, there's still some hidden things
there's some stuff still. There's definitely some stuff still.
You might listen to something and catch something that's
speaking of Clerks, Kevin Smith has been talking about that same movie for over 20 years or 30 years or something. I want to be talking about this 30 years from now. Yeah. I want to tell people everything, That's gonna be my Clerks. Right on, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening in. We will see you folks next week, Thursday, the 31st. The first. There's no 31st in...
There is, but it's right now today is the 25th.
So. I keep thinking today is the 24th. Why do I keep thinking it's the 24th? Today is definitely the 25th. It's not the 24th. Today's the 25th. So we'll see you guys on November 1st. Have a great one on behalf of Aaron and Kahai. We'll see you folks next time. Aloha.